The question is, the tools you use to train are awesome. How do people transfer their training experience with these tools into their job? Ooh, they need to try stuff. That's the thing that I kind of try and encourage people to do. And it's one of the particular reasons that I talk about how I run different segments of the class, that meta conversation about how I run different segments of the class with them, as well as actually running the class. I guess it depends on the group as well, right? If you've got a bunch of practitioners and scrum masters and facilitators who are interested in that stuff, I maybe spend more time on it than other classes. But those tools, like the different flavors of liberating structures for the virtual world, are things that they can take away and use in their own organization to help them make their environments a little bit better, to help people engage and tell stories a little bit better inside of their organization, because that's really how humans connect information to the real world, is through stories. And how do you tell your stories in a way that helps other people inside of your organization understand them? So some examples of tools. One of the key, and it's one of the foundational tools in liberating structures, is it's called a 1, 2, 4 all. It's a great tool where you do 1 minute on your own, 2 minutes in pairs, 4 minutes in 2 pairs, and then bring in everybody back. And the core goal is always, I've got a group of people. They're not a tiny group of people. They're maybe a bigger group of people. And I want them to engage on a particular topic and come up with ideas. But I don't want to just ask the room. Let's say you've got 20 people in the room. I don't want to just ask the room, what do you think about this topic? Because you know already before you ask the question, either nobody's going to say anything and it's going to be tumbleweeds going past, right? Or you've got that one person who you know is the loudest person in the room. They're going to be the only one that speaks. Or the hippo in the room, right? The highest paid person is going to be the one that talks, and everybody else can be like, I don't want to say anything in case get in trouble. So how do you create an environment where everybody's voice is equally contributing to the story, and enable all of them, even if it's just they feel like they're involved in the conversation, that they're getting their stories across? So 1 minute on your own, right, is everybody heads down, write some ideas on your own, and then you go into pairs. And this is my interpretation of this based on my personality, right? But I feel like I'm an introvert. Maybe it doesn't seem that way, but I am. I'm an introvert, and having one person to go speak to and express my ideas to is great, right? Because I'm not talking to a big room of people. I don't feel like I'm going to be shamed by people in the room who don't like my idea, but I can share it in this small group. And then we've shared our ideas, we've collaborated on our ideas. It's only 2 minutes, right? But you get that feeling. And then you go into 2 pairs. So that's 2 friends, right? People who have made friends and collaborated on their ideas coming together to expand those ideas and make them bigger. And then when you bring it back to the rest of the room, you've maybe only got 3, 4, or 5 groups of people to hear from, and you're hearing collaboratively created ideas. So it's okay to have a spokesperson in that group, and everybody else doesn't feel like they're not being heard, right? Because they've already had those conversations and built up to that story. And that's just one of the tools in liberating structures. And you can also take what do we do with the output of that? Well, maybe we feed it into something else that we use to, we've created a whole list of ideas, and perhaps we want to figure out how do we get through that groan zone in the middle of collaboration and coming to consensus towards having that consensus and single idea, like what is it we're going to do next. So helping people understand how those tools work in their world, they can experience using some of those tools in the class, and then hopefully they can see how they function so that they can then take them and use them in their own facilitation techniques as well. And because I feel like I specialize in the virtual space, I feel like most people are in either hybrid or all virtual environments today. And there's no point, I feel there's less value in you coming to an in-person class and me teaching you how to run all these liberating structures, or using them, you seeing those liberating structures being used in the physical space, and then you go back to work and there's 3 people online and 2 people in the office, and you're like, well, I can't use that thing that Martin used because it doesn't fit the space that I'm in just now. Whereas if you come to a virtual class, you're going to learn how to do that in the virtual space. And we've all seen, if you, and the hybrid world is really the same as the virtual world, except a few people are in the office and they go sit at their desk and everybody has their own camera and their own, so you can do the breakout rooms, you can use those tools. And that's also partly, you know, using the technologies as well that we use in the class. We use Mural. In my classes, we use Mural and Microsoft Teams. Enable people to then go back to the office and use similar techniques. Again, additional meta learning from the class, where they're able to learn more than the content that we're actually teaching them, because they're learning how to actually do those things through experience. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, follow, and subscribe. I always reply to comments, and if you want to have a chat about this or anything else Agile, Scrum, or DevOps, then please book a coffee with me through NKD Agility.